Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard 101 video. Today, I am going to be giving you, yes you, viewer, yes, the first time user experience that Kingsisle does not want to give you. And what I mean by that is, I'm not going to be babying you, alright? I expect you to know the stuff that Kingsisle's trying to teach first time users, such as, what quests are, how to walk on the side of the road, you know, all that baby stuff that anyone with an iota of common sense would know how to do after maybe 5 minutes of experimenting at most. Today I'm going to be going over the things that Kingsisle doesn't show you that are necessary for the game, specific features that makes the game so much better that you want to know as a new player, that not a lot of that Kingsisle doesn't teach you. And yeah, so let's get into it. I've done beginner's guides before, but I figure, you know, you can never really make enough of them, because if even one more person watches this one rather than one of my old ones, hey, that's more beginner's guides. So let's first start off with the most important thing that Kingsisle doesn't teach you, and that is deck setup. Because you don't want to just shove all the spells in your deck, right? I see a lot of people doing this, right? They'll go, okay, I need fire blades. Let's put Heck Hound in my deck. Yeah, sure. Let's put some Scalds in my deck, some Meteor Strikes. This is not what you want to do. You never want to do this, because what it does is it clutters your deck and makes the battle take an unnecessary amount of time. What I mean by this is that you start the battle with 7 spells, right? If you say I wanted to get a Meteor Strike, right? And I had all of these rows filled with spells, the chance of me getting a Meteor Strike first round would be about 10% or less, which I don't know if you can realize that's really bad if I want Meteor Strike first round. So, how do you go about setting up decks? Well, first off, you want to have a minimal amount of spells in your deck. That's not to say you want 3 spells in your deck, but you definitely don't want to fill up the entire slot. My biggest deck never really goes past the 3rd row, which is 24 total spells. Obviously, it depends on certain fights, like maybe Malastare, way at the end of the game in Darkmoor. Obviously, you might want more because he has 100,000 health. But still, you don't want to fill up the deck the entire way. You only want a little bit. And in regards to the proper deck setup, especially early game, it's very important to know what spells you want in your deck and what ones you don't. Now, this is something that Kingsisle definitely won't tell you, but definitely one thing that you want is to have 2 decks. You want 2 decks throughout the game. You can see I have technically 3 main decks. My death has 5 main decks, but really you only need 2, and the 2 is necessary. There's your small deck or your attack deck, whatever you want to call it. This is what I recommend for mob battles. So say you're gonna go into battle with some Clankers and Marleybone. I don't know why I chose that mob, but that mob specifically, right? There's gonna be 2 of them in one battle. You want to end it quickly. In your attack deck, what you want, and this is for every mob battle all the way up to Caramel, is your tier 4 hit all spell. What I would recommend is 2 blades, 1 sharpened blade, and 3 enchants to match the 3 spells that you put in. But obviously, earlier game, you're not going to have sharpened blades, so what I would recommend is having 1 blade in, and if you have another blade from a pet or from an amulet, then use that one. That will generally hold you over. Now, the reason why specifically I choose this deck setup, and this is really important, I feel like a lot of high players don't even know this, is that, as I've said, you start the battle with 7 cards. If you look at this, right, and you have 7 cards, there is a 0% chance, literally it's impossible, to not start off with an enchant and a Meteor Strike, which is super important because you always want to hit first round unless you're going to blade first, which then it's not as important, but still you always want to hit first round. So if you look at this, I have 5 total things here, which makes it so that it is, okay, wait, let me put the blade back in because I realized I forgot that. You have 6 total things there. If you have even one more blade, one more enchant, it is possible that first round you are not going to get an attack, which is never what you want. So I would always recommend making your decks as small and compact as possible to lower the chance of not getting what you want first round. That is something that Kingsisle doesn't tell you and never will tell you. I've seen so many people, myself included, go years in the game filling their decks up to the brim with unnecessary spells. Not only unnecessary spells, but a ton of spells. Now let me look at my boss deck for a second, because it's not that much different. My boss deck has 4 attacks, 3 blades, 2 sharpened blades, 4 enchants. That is a very small deck. There is a total of 15 spells in this deck. That was wrong. It's 13. I can't count. 13 spells in this deck. It is almost guaranteed if I don't get a blade first round, at the very least, I can enchant all of my attack cards. Like, say I got 3 attacks, 4 enchants first round, which would kind of suck. Very unlikely, but it's possible. Then I can enchant everything. If I have to lose that round, okay. But then next round, I'm guaranteed to get the remaining blades. Now, obviously, this isn't exactly what you want in a deck setup. Most people are going to want 2 feints and a potent trap as well. And then the deck will look more like this with 16 spells. That's fine. The reason why I don't have feints as my deck is because usually my fire is the hitter in a lot of things, which means other people will feint for me while I sit there and blade up. So I usually keep it to this. But obviously you want feints in if you're either solo or any other school besides the main hitter. So there is that. This is probably the most important thing that Kingsisle doesn't explain in the slightest. And obviously I've gone over in my past videos why I think first time user experience is making the game worse. It's because it doesn't explain necessary things like this. If it explained this, I'd be like, sure, add this so new players have it. Add it so it's helpful, but it doesn't. So there is that. Now, let's talk about the second thing I want to talk about in this video, and this is super, super important if you want to have a powerful wizard and want to have an easier time playing the game, and that is train a pet, because pet training is also super important. I just accidentally moved my Wizard 101 thing. All right, there we go. So if you can see here, look at my Fire's pet right now, right? That gives 14 plus 11, which is 25 plus 4, which is 29 extra damage. I could put this on a level 1 character right now and have 29 damage, 35 crit, which would be ridiculous. That would be, let's say I didn't have this pet, that would be level 30 levels of damage at level 1. So it's always important to have a really good pet on you at all times. But you may be saying, no, pets are expensive. How am I going to get a pet? Well, first off, pets do cost a lot of money. I would recommend going to the Hatch and Kiosk. I have more detailed guides on pets if you want to look them up. Look up Kaiser Pet Guide. You'll find something. But I'm not going to go heavily in depth. You want to look up the dealer of your given school. So, fire dealer right here. Then you want to look up the giver of your given school. Not ice giver, fire giver. Search for all talents, and then you can surf through pets. Now, you can see it costs about 100,000. There's 2 ways you can go about this. 1, quest through the game. Trust me, you will get this money probably by Mushu. People are always shocked when they hear, Noah, that's so much gold. But I don't know what you guys are spending your gold on, because every single time I play the game, I get 100k by the end of Dragonspire 100% of the time. Usually by Mushu. Now, I would definitely recommend doing Mount Olympus, because that is a literal gold mine of gold, as you'd imagine. Haha, funny. I don't know if that was even a joke. But you can see you can feed things to your pet here. How much did that give me? That gave me 200 gold. Okay. But say I did everything in my inventory right now. Obviously, you could sell this in the bazaar for even more, but you want to sell the no auction things. If you sold Mount Olympus gear, I think you get 500 plus per gear that you feed to your pet, which is a lot of money. You can farm Mount Olympus, get the gear that you want at level 30 especially, and then sell the rest and get a massive amount of gold and hatch with the pet. Even if your pet fails, even if it gets health gift, as long as it has 1 damage, it's still better than a pet that doesn't have damage. That's how things work in life. Even if it's better than nothing. You always want to take it's better than nothing, right? Because if you have nothing, you don't want to say, oh, but pet training's so hard. You want to try to hatch with this so that you can get at least one of these stats. Anything would be helpful. Now, I think it's important to note is you want to get a pet as soon as possible. And the reason for that is that this game now has a feature that gives you 4 pet XP for every quest you complete. This is really important because without double pet XP membership benefit, you're going to have a hard time leveling your pet up to max. Unless you power train your pet, which I have guides on power training, but at the very least, questing through the game is going to get your pet up significantly with pet snacks that you won't have because you're low on gold. This is, as a beginning player, you want a pet. Trust me. Even if it's crappy, it's better than not having a pet. So, those are the 2 main things I wanted to elaborate on, because Kingsisle does not mention the importance of pets, does not mention the importance of deck setup, and I think that those are 2 things that really, really are important to this game that people don't think about. They don't do. And especially at a like a newer player, right? If I went to the commons now, I mean, I could probably look at this low-level player. Yeah, see, they have this resist pet, which is an adult. What they should be working on now, they're only level 22, so obviously that's still too low level to probably get enough gold. But you still want to start working on saving up gold, getting some stuff, and attempting to get a good pet. What's Fred here have? Fred here has a good PvP pet, but level 136. I was trying to find like a mid-level person, like a level 40 or something, but okay. So you can see here, this is actually a perfect example. There's a 140 Storm here that has a pet that has this is literally the worst pet you could ever get. It has Maycast Storm Shield, Maycast Sprite. Both of those are useless. 4% power pep chance, which is really bad. 8% storm resist, which is literally probably one of the worst talents you could get as a damage character, and 111 max health. Overall, just crappy. And you can see this is ultra level, which means they went there in almost their entire game doing this and possibly training up their pet. I mean, this right here is the perfect example of a new player. You can see they don't have the optimum gear setup. They don't really have a good pet. And their damage is really low because of it. I actually have a Storm that's level 70 that has more damage than this level 140 Storm. So it's really, really important to know the optimum way to set this up. If you have any questions, please let me know or ask them in the comments. I will answer any questions you have. Really, I just wanted to make this video stressing what I believe to be the most important things to focus on in this game if you are looking, if you're a first-time player looking to quest. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please drop a like and hit the sub button. Taking off my headphones, that's strange, I know. You can see my ears. Oh, can't see those. Please drop a like at the sub button. I appreciate all the support recently, all the stuff that you guys are liking. You're liking these videos. Let me know if you have anything you wish for me to cover in like a beginner's guide, because I will gladly do it. So that's it. Thanks all for watching. See you in the next video.